According to administration officials, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre's recent state visit to Venezuela was a resounding success. Aides are characterizing the trip as a historic moment in the relationship between two countries as Castries and Caracas hit the reset button on cooperation and shared progress following disengagement under the previous Chasney regime. The External Affairs Minister of St. Lucia, Alva Baptiste, says the delegation managed to make headway on trade, tourism, energy, and agriculture.
We proceeded to sign an MOU to cooperate in those very clear and practical areas that will impact positively on our country. We also signed a clear roadmap to how we can actually deal with the air services agreement that will facilitate the Venezuelan carrier to operate in our jurisdiction. It will create an improved framework for both tourism and trade between Venezuela and St. Lucia. As a matter of fact, many years ago we had Rent-Avion, taking speculators from St. Lucia across to Margarita and back. So this is nothing new. I think we are going to start a new engagement for trade and cooperating on a fundamentally different level.
St. Lucia also made the case for fertilizer for local farmers. Baptiste, speaking from the briefing room at the weekly cabinet media conference at the office of the Prime Minister, highlighted the need for a coherent foreign policy tied to the strategic development of St. Lucia. The devastating impact of the pandemic-related recession was a stark reminder of the importance of sound international relations in driving the recovery of the domestic economy.
During that time, a number of farmers did not have the financial resources to actually purchase a lot of fertilizer for us to recover. We found an economy in a mess. It plunged into a major recession prior to COVID and compounded during COVID, a contraction of 24.4%. But when Honorable Philip J. Pierre came into office, we could not have ignored the fact that the conflicts that were rooted in unemployment, poverty, and of course crime had been exacerbated by the COVID-19 situation. And so we are in a hurry to return this country to normalcy, to rebuild the economy of the country, to deliver greater services to the people of the country. And therefore, our trip to Venezuela is part of that effort to ensure that we return that economy to normalcy with lightning rapidity.
While retaining strong bonds with traditional allies, officials say they are under no illusion about the need to forge ties with new diplomatic partners. Baptiste recently signed agreements to establish diplomatic relations with 4 countries: Sierra Leone, Liechtenstein, Andorra, and Kyrgyzstan. He also agreed to work with Ghana to conclude a cooperation agreement between the two countries. St. Lucia and Indonesia agreed to waive visa requirements for diplomatic and official passport holders and signed a cooperative agreement. Baptiste espouses the deft art of diplomacy in cultivating productive bilateral relations.
We shall continue to strengthen our relations with our traditional friends like the US, Canada, and the UK. And of course, we are not weakening our relations. We are not turning away from the old, as the late President JFK said, but we are turning toward the new because our people are demanding more attention. But we are a small, open and vulnerable economy, and there are only so much that we can do. So we are aligning ourselves with persons who are going to assist us in developing the country. And Africa is an area that we must engage with, Asia, and so you would see activity in that regard, trying to cure the deficit in terms of the number of countries that we do not currently have bilateral relations with. So again, we are reaching into new areas, all in an effort to give the people of this country the best possible results.
Officials believe these new relationships will allow St. Lucia to expand its global reach and strengthen its ties with countries in Africa, Europe, and Central Asia. They say this will open up new opportunities for trade, investment, and cultural exchange. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.